Hey everyone, today I'm going to go over a few laptops that I would recommend to anyone buying a laptop for college. Of course, this is not exhaustive by any means. There will probably be many more laptops that you should buy. So in this video, I'll be covering a few of the ones that I do recommend. To many people, 60,000 rupees is a lot to ask. There are brands that give you pretty good options for your money, such as Honor. Honor makes a laptop, a notebook that around 40,000 rupees, 45,000 rupees. Realme, Honor, they all make these great laptops under 50,000 rupees. I'm just telling you guys what I recommend, and if there's anything that I've gotten wrong, please feel free to call me out on these things. So as I mentioned earlier, B-Bomb, Tech Burner, they have some great videos on this topic, so you should definitely check them out. If you don't know where to start when you're buying a laptop, YouTube is a great place to start. You can type anything you want, like cheap laptop below so and so price, and you'll find something. So use YouTube to your advantage. That said, let's go on to a few laptops that I would highly recommend. The first one is without a doubt the HP Pavilion 14. This is said to be one of the best laptops, if not the HP NV14, which is a bit more expensive though, considerably more expensive. And the reason I like this laptop is because it comes with a Ryzen 5 U series processor. Basically, it's reasonably fast for general day-to-day tasks, nothing intensive. As I mentioned earlier, U series processors are meant for low power consumption tasks. The screen is color accurate. It encompasses 100% of the sRGB color space apparently. Basically what that means is you're getting a screen that shows things true to life as they were recorded on a camera. Audio by B&O, basically Bang & Olufsen tuned the drivers in the laptop. Surprisingly, these speakers, they happen to be mostly about software and less about hardware itself. It could mean a serious difference, it could just be marketing, I'm not sure. What I can say is that if you have a price given on the website like this, 52,000 rupees, I would be very careful because these laptops from HP tend to vary wildly in price based on how you spec them out. So let's go for the Ryzen 5 series laptop because it's considerably cheaper than the one with the Ryzen 7. If you want a better processor than that, you're gonna have to pay 70,000 rupees, which is a lot more money, and it's a much more competitive space. For a cheaper model, I actually saw they charged 10,000 rupees for Windows 11. That's ridiculous. I got it for free on my old laptop. Like, you shouldn't be paying that much for Windows 11 in my experience. You don't have to because you already get it with the 50,000 rupee laptop. Not bad. GST is around 8,000 rupees. Wow. But that's pretty much all you can customize. 4.3 gigahertz is not bad for this price. For perspective, my laptop is twice the price and can go to about 4.7 gigahertz. 6 cores, 12 threads. The more cores and threads you have, the better it's able to manage large workloads as well as multitasking, including background tasks. So windows that you've closed, windows in the background tabs, all these things, they change based on how many cores you have. Go for the 16 gigabytes of RAM variant. It's probably going to save you a lot of headaches. And I know people say like, I won't use it to edit video and all, but seriously, like, you're going to use this thing every day, and you're going to notice every little thing that that doesn't comply with your usage. So if it slows down with 8 gigs, don't be surprised. 8 gigs is not a lot in today's day and age. I think Chrome eats up 8 gigs pretty quickly, as I mentioned in a previous video. So go for 16 gigs of RAM if you can. This is a full HD display, which is the lowest I would go, especially for a 14-inch display. This is an IPS, which is good. There are 3 kinds of displays: TN, IPS, and OLED. There's even some mini OLED new technology, but generally IPS is the great middle ground because you're getting good color and you're getting a display that lasts you a very long time if it's a good IPS panel. Not all IPS panels are the same. Now, the brightness on this laptop screen is 250 nits. If you plan to use your laptop outdoors, don't buy this laptop. It's not going to be bright enough at all. Trust me, I've been there. You don't want to buy a 250 nit laptop for outdoor use. And it doesn't have to be outdoor use. If you like sitting next to windows during the daytime, all those dust particles on the screen will be visible because the screen isn't bright enough. I would go for minimum 500 nits. But if you're someone who doesn't leave their room a lot, which you probably should, I mean, come on, then 250 nits will be just fine. 720p is fine. Honestly, laptop webcams just suck across the board. So if you really care about video call quality, you can buy a dedicated webcam. You don't need to worry about the laptop webcam nowadays. A fingerprint reader is always good to have. What I would care about is something like Windows Hello Facial Unlock. I do not see that on the spec sheet, but what I can say is that this laptop has a Bluetooth 5.2. 5.1, 5.2, 5.3 are basically Bluetooth versions. There are few devices that do support it. Unless your headphones and your laptop support 5.3 Bluetooth, it won't be of much use to you. Generally, go for 5.2 or above. Bluetooth can evolve, and in 3 years, there's going to be a 5.4. 65 watts is pretty good. You should be fine, especially given that this is a low power consumption U series processor. 43 watt hours isn't a lot. Then again, the screen isn't that bright, and it's a low power consumption SoC, so you should be fine, I think, with this laptop. Although one big caveat to this laptop is, I think, the screen. This is a 16:9 inch display. Let me show you what exactly that means. If I open this photo and I click on crop, I want you to look at this blue line, this blue dotted line around the photo that I'm looking at here. And if I select 16:9, this is what you get. But if I go for 16:10, it's a little bit taller. And the importance of that is you're getting more screen real estate and you're seeing more of every web page, more of every document, more of everything. If you can find a 16:10 aspect ratio, go for it, as preferred as to 16:9. And on that note, let's go to my next recommendation. It's from ASUS, and it's the VivoBook 14 OLED. It's about 52,000 rupees. I would just recommend buying this laptop. It's so good across the board. It's got an OLED display. And I can tell you from experience that OLED is amazing. Like, the blacks are literally just pitch black. Media looks amazing on an OLED panel. Plus, what I find very important, what not many people talk about, is that this is a 90 Hz display. 2.8K 90 Hz display. What does that mean? Oh my goodness, my battery is running low. 1 second. 14 inch, that's the screen size. That is referring to the diagonal screen size of the laptop. 2.8K is referring to the resolution of the screen. For example, my screen is 2880 pixels and the width is 1800 pixels, about 5 million pixels. For context, that is a lot of pixels for the screen size. Like, as I said earlier, Full HD 1080p is the lowest you should go. That's already like 2 million pixels. So 2.8K is excellent. Like, I think it's the perfect middle ground. Above this, you'll only find like 4K screens. So this is what you should go for. 90 Hz is simply the refresh rate. Most laptops have a 60 Hz refresh rate, but a 90 Hz means that it is about 0.3 times 30% faster. So everything you do, this, just moving windows around, like if you just movements on the screen feel really smooth. This is a 90 Hz panel that I'm using right here. The reason you can't see that smoothness is because the video is being filmed at 60 Hz. I would really recommend going to a store and trying out actual laptop screens and seeing how they feel, because that's something you can only experience with your eyes. I'm pretty sure all these laptops with an OLED screen are using the same panel from Samsung. 16 gigs of RAM, nice. It's upgradable too. It's great. Although I think you'll be paying a little bit more than 52,000 rupees for the 16 gig variant. You probably should. Privacy shutter, good to have. Again, these are things that I really like about this laptop. This antibacterial stuff, I would call it a gimmick. Like, don't think too much about it. Trackpad, a bigger trackpad is always better. Also, when you go to look at this laptop, if you find this laptop in a store, ask if the trackpad is glass or plastic. Any laptop, what you want is a glass trackpad. If it's plastic, fine, but if it's glass, go for it. This is a great laptop for a few reasons. You get HDR, and what that means is that videos look amazing. You can watch Netflix and utilize its full potential because the screen is HDR and it supports high resolution video. In addition to this, if you do any kind of photo editing or video editing, you will get excellent visuals and you'll see things as they were filmed because this is a Pantone validated display. Basically that means that the display is showing you what was filmed from the camera without changing anything. It's a color accurate display, and that's something I really like about this laptop. For context, my laptop is twice the price and it's got the same display. As it mentions here that OLED is a bit more vibrant, and this is true. I can verify this. This is not some marketing trick. OLED really looks this much better than LCD. Granted, if you spend like 3 lakhs on an IPS panel, it's going to look better than OLED. But for this price, go for an OLED display. I think it's time to move on to the next option. The Dell Inspiron 14 I don't think it's as good a deal as the Asus we just looked at, but I think it's another option. What's another option? So this one is 60,000 rupees, 61,000 rupees. I think the specs are really good. It's got a non-touch screen and it's got 16 gigs of RAM, 3200 megahertz, fast enough. And you get a Ryzen 5 U series processor with 12 threads. Basically the perfect mid-range processor for students or anyone who doesn't do any kind of graphics intensive, CPU intensive stuff. Like if you don't edit 4K video or fluid simulations and whatnot, this laptop will suit you perfectly. And like even if you have like many tabs, many windows open in your browser, you'll be just fine with a Ryzen 5. You'll have no problems. That said, the screen is an FHD Plus screen. It's non-touch, but FHD Plus is excellent for the screen size. You will struggle to see pixels, and it's less than the Asus's 2.8K resolution. Again, I would recommend the Asus. But if you really want a Dell, this is what I would consider a great Dell option. Obviously, it's not exhaustive. If you want to go higher, 60 to 80,000 rupees, well, it's a really competitive space, and Razer Blade could have you covered. If you're in India and you're buying a laptop for college, Razer Blade is not exactly common in this country, so after sales service could be a problem. This is worth considering, the Razer Blade 15. Obviously it's powerful, it's got dedicated graphics, it's got a really high refresh rate display. This laptop is made for people who work but who are also into gaming. The screen is excellent, 100% DCI-P3 coverage of the color space, portable, blah blah blah. It's a great laptop. i7, 14 cores, 6 performance cores. This is an H series processor for sure. H series, as I mentioned earlier, is the highest tier of processor types. 5.2 gigahertz, not bad. 20 threads, my goodness, this thing is really fast. 4K video is a joke for this laptop. You should be just fine with this laptop. It'll cost you though, yeah, so this is gonna cost you at least like 1.8 lakhs. It's gonna cost you real good money. Again, like at this price point, you have a lot of choice and there's no way you can really go wrong. So I don't think it's worth spending too much time in this price point. The 14-inch Razer Blade 14, it's a really good laptop. If you get a Razer Blade 14 and come to Korea University, I'm gonna love it. Like, I'm gonna just stare at your laptop. I'm sorry, but I will, because there are no Razer Blade laptops here. Finally, we come to the King XPS. XPS is considered the benchmark of the laptop, the peak of the laptop. Granted, they do have some serious quality control issues from what I've seen, and it's going to cost you a good buck. You can get like a 4K screen on these laptops. I wouldn't recommend it because it's going to drain your battery. What I would recommend is the FHD Plus display with an IPS panel on any Dell laptop. Don't go for 4K, it's just going to drain your battery and it's just overkill for a laptop. Inspiron is also a great option at 72,000 rupees. I think it's got really good specs. If you kit this out with an i7, it still costs below 80,000 rupees, which I like a lot. I think the Inspiron series is a great laptop. 16 gigs and that's 70k. This is a really good laptop to go for. So the Dell Inspiron 14 and the Asus VivoBook 14 OLED. Look at these laptops. I think they're really good and worth consideration. Yeah, and I think that pretty much wraps it up for tonight. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found this video useful or at least entertaining if you're a laptop geek. If you have any more suggestions, please let people know in the comment section below, because this video is by no means exhaustive. Thanks for watching, and good luck with your board exams if you're in class 12. I will see you in the next show. Bye.